What's up, everybody? It's Joey Joint here with Joint Perspectives. I want to first off start by saying that sorry it's been a little bit. I know it's been a little bit since I made a video since Denver. Um, I'm just getting back into the groove of things, getting stuff back to where I need it to be, getting my thoughts where I need it to be with everything. I want to take this moment and talk about a couple things that I've been seeing. It's been a crazy week of me getting back into the swing of things and getting everything done that I need to get done for my next trip. I got to go to San Diego at the beginning of June, so that'll be fun. Uh, Today, one of my main topics I want to talk about is risk. Okay, I'm going to kind of touch on that a little later back here, but you know, you guys will get what I'm saying. A couple other things I want to touch before I get there. So one thing I've been noticing as I scroll through these TikToks and Facebook and all this stuff, right? These social medias that personally I wish I couldn't have access to in a way, but without having one of those, I wouldn't have you guys, right? Um, I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see this video, and I'll put it up on the screen so that you guys can see and kind of see what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna do it as I'm talking because there's not much talking involved in the video. It's more about what's happening. The thing for me, let me, I feel like I'm so high up there. So the thing is for me is I came across this video just scrolling through Facebook. And as I was scrolling through Facebook, I found it, and it was a video of this young man. Okay, they were in Detroit or somewhere like that, right? And there's a lot of violence out there. And I'm originally from East LA. I grew up in violence in the whole aspect of it all. And then not just that, moving out here, it was still violent for me being a Mexican kid in a white dominant area. Those three of us, there's about 3 or 4 of us Mexicans here, or 3 or 4 of us Mexican families here in this town of 1,000 people, and we all knew each other and they all knew us. So, it's kind of one of those situations with it. But, anyways, um, so this kid shows him in the middle of the street and shows 3 other guys in front of him about to jump him. And you can tell by his aspect of he's when it comes to gang stuff and things like this, you could tell it was a gang thing. He was wearing red, the other one was wearing blue. I'm sure it was some sort of Subaru type shit there. Um, but the kid was 1 against 3. Now the way I grew up, right? You 1 against 3, you hit and you run, you hit and you run, so that you can get what you need to until it's even enough match for you to do your thing, or you stand there and you make it happen. Does that make sense? Um, so with that being said, right, uh, I seen this kid and he goes ahead and sorry, I heard something over here. It was distracting me. Uh, I seen this kid and he was 1 against 3. And the 3 start coming up on him, and the kid pulls out a gun. Now, mind you, during this whole thing that's happening, there's cops around, so he pulls out a gun right in front of the cops. Which, to me, in my eyes, it's a risky move, right? It's a ballsy move, because whether you would have been scrapping it out with these guys and your gun would have fell out, or you would have been scrapping it out and they would have arrested you, they would have found that gun. So either way, at the end of the day, right, they're more than likely going to find the gun. So, but he pulls out the gun. He doesn't shoot. He's showing it hey, what's really good. Like, you really want to do this? You really want to get down? Like, what's going on, right? And the 3 guys didn't care. Shit. When you're in that kind of mood, it's shit. You pulled it out, but you didn't shoot it. So what are you really going to do, right? So they're rolling up on him, and the guys finally second thought it because the cops see the gun and they pull out their guns, and they're all pointing at this one guy, right? Which I understand. Guy on the street with a gun. Shit gets crazy, right? But what I didn't like about the whole video was that they pulled out the gun on the one guy who had the gun. They arrested the guy who had the gun, but they didn't arrest the 3 that were antagonizing him to make something happen, right? To me, that's guilty by association. You were there. You provoked the whole situation in that manner. Um, so that's the thing that I don't like on some things, and my last video I think got some kind of mixed views, which It's okay. It's about police. You're gonna have mixed views. This podcast isn't made to accommodate people into um, uh, what they feel is safe, right? This podcast is to show on the aspect of different perspectives in reality. Okay, because a lot of people live their lives not thinking like, wow, that actually happens. I had a young lady that I work with who simply, I tell about some of the stories back in California, or some of the ways that some of the things that my family's been through, such as back when we were younger, we lived in the back of a Mexican restaurant, and my parents used to have to flick cockroach stuff our face so that we could sleep. And it's a crazy concept because she never understood that people could actually live like that, or people could actually like be that low that they couldn't have no other option. Um, One way I like describing this, right? I have my boss, my manager. He's gonna watch this. How's it going? Which is cool, right? It's whatever. We had an open discussion. I loved it because it helped me give a different perspective to him. And what it was, I never want to be like, oh my God, pity me for my life, pity me for the things that happened to me, pity me for this, right? That's not what I'm about. I believe standing tall and being proud of your backstory, being proud of where you come from, being proud of who you are. Um, and with this being said, me and my sister always use this term called, it's like, oh, you white people in this, right? You white people in this. Mind you, I'm half white, I'm half Mexican. I have the best of both worlds. And so we always do that, right? And it always bugs me. He's like, what, come on, like, why you gotta be like that, right? Well, me and him were talking. He's like, well, I hope you know, Joe, like, my life wasn't the greatest either. And I was like, awesome. I'm opening up a door that maybe he's never opened before. I want to hear this, right? So me and him are talking, and he goes, well, Joe, like for me was very hard too. He goes, my dad and my grandpa were fighting when we were younger about running the farm, and there was a huge problem to where my dad succeeded the farm and left, right? Um, and he left his grandpa there, so he had to start on his own, right? He's like, my dad had to start on his own farm and his own stuff. And I'm like, cool, awesome, right? Stepping away from mommy and daddy's money, trying to make your own, doing your own thing, right? Well, uh, that's when he tried putting into perspective things for me, right? He's like, Joe, we didn't have a lot of money, right? So we had to get grants from schools and stuff like that in order to help this and situations like that. Well, right there I was like, bam, red flag, okay? Not a red flag, just a flag, right? Just, hey, hold up, I want to put some in perspective for you. I said, you notice how your family was able to go to a school system and be like, I need help to develop this farm. So can you guys help me? And they helped him, right? They gave him grants, they gave him money, stuff that could help him get back on his feet to, get where he needs to go. Perspective I put into play was this. I said, you notice how you were able to go to that school and ask for help and they gave you that help? I said, if we would have went and asked for that help, we wouldn't have gotten that help. We would have been told to figure it out, like we have been told in the past for lunch monies, different things like that, or even healthcare systems. The healthcare that we have in Minnesota is crappy. I can 100% stand by that because my wife is a stay-at-home mom with my son, and I still technically make too much money to even try to get on Medicaid. So I don't even have health insurance, which sucks because my surgery all came out of pocket. Everything I've had to do has came out of pocket, or I'm in debt for it because it's just, what do you do, right? Um, but either way, that was the perspective I wanted to put on him. I told him, I was like, see, when we say like, oh, that's this, or this, it's not in the aspect of like, oh, you have to have come from the slums and you have to have had nothing and you have to have had everything shit happen to you in order for it to be a shitty life. Nah, man, everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own sense of, man, I went through this when I was younger. I went through this when I was younger. And that's the whole point of this podcast, is to show people that there's more realities to life than what maybe your 9 to 5 shows you, or having the opportunity to even have a job shows you, And so that's what this whole podcast is about, is to change people's perspective and give people a better hope, a better feeling and understanding other people. I have been blessed enough to have the starting that I had with my parents moving out here, and me being in a small knit community to where they watched me grow, they watched me become into this man, so they're willing to give me opportunities. I have a sense of respect, I guess you could say, because a lot of people here have seen the things I've been through, seen the stuff that I've done, seen the things that I've had to do to get where I'm at today. My whole motto in life is to beat the odds, right? That's why I have tattoos on my hands. It's why I am where I am. Hence why I have 3 pit bulls. It was the whole sense of beating the odds, and that's still my motto to this day. Don't let nothing hold you down. You have to beat the odds. I wanted to be the most stereotypical person that was for my community because that's all they see me as. So I wanted to show them that, hey, even though this is all that you see me as, wait till you hear me speak. Because when you hear me speak, it's a whole different reality. And every person I've encountered has literally told me that. They're like, you know, you look different on your outside compared to how you talk. And I'm like, it's because I'm intellectual. I'm not stupid. I'm not out here being stupid. I have seen both sides of the spectrum to an extent to help give me a better perspective and an understanding on how to talk to people, how to relate to people, how to go out of my way to make certain situations happen my way. What does this all have to do with risk? Well, risk, I want people to think about it today, right? I want people to go in later and sit down, and I challenge you to think, what are the risks you're taking of the fear that you are having? So let's say you have you're working at a job, right? A promotion just opened up, right? You want to apply for that promotion, but you're too scared to do it because of whatever reason may be holding you back, right? I got told this in one of the Zoom meetings in Self Perfected. Shout out Self Perfected. Um, they stated when it comes to risk, what is it that you're afraid of that's causing you to hold back? Well, when you think about it more, think about it this: what is the risk you are taking when you don't do something? So let's say you want to go to this new job, or you want to go to a different job that may be better for you, but you're scared because you've grown into this pattern of where you're at, right? The risk you are taking is the opportunity that other job could give you. So let me put it into perspective, right? Um, if this other job offers, let's say, benefits, better values, a better way of living for your home life, um, these are all these greater things, right? That is the risk you are taking. The sense of not being able to ever take a swing at the ball because you never took that risk to go to that other job. You never took that risk to go see, how is this other job going to work for me? So I want to inspire people today. Take a risk. Find whatever it is, whatever you may be afraid to do, talking to somebody, going out and doing something, or maybe it's getting healthy. Maybe it's this. Take that leap of faith. Take that risk, because at that risk, you can achieve so much more. And once you take that first jump and achieve those risks that you thought were never possible, you will continue to achieve and see more and be greater than what you ever thought you could be. A huge thing for me, the reason I say that is because I never thought I'd be here. Just like my father told me, the only way he taught me was he was afraid. He didn't think he was gonna make it, and past 20, past 22, he built that in me that I didn't think the same. I was getting into drugs. I was getting into a lot of different things. I didn't think I could do that. Now look at me. I have a wife. I have a son. My wife is able to be a stay-at-home mom, right? I'm able to support my family and the bills that I have and take care of the things that I have, right? I am able to be a structured member of society. I have a sales job where I present myself in the uttermost respectful way to people, because when they look at me and then they hear me talk, it changes people's perspective on me. And that is what I want people to do. Go out of your way to take a risk today. Go out of your way and find something that you're afraid to do, and go and do it so that you can achieve the rewards of risking it for, like how they say it, the biscuit, right? So go out today. Find that sense of mojo. Find your mojo while you're having a cup of joe this morning, and figure out exactly on what are you afraid of, and what's something that you can take that leap of faith within today, or take the step to take that leap of faith, so that you can achieve what you believe you can achieve, right? I've been learning more and more. society really wants us to be these 9 to 5 workers, you know. So they teach us not to take risks. They teach us not to follow our dreams. They teach us not to do this stuff. And a lot of people who follow their dreams or take these risks had mentors, right? To show them, not even tell them, but they seen it. Monkey see, monkey do. Well, you know, my dad never taught me nothing besides he knew how to work, right? I told my dad this, we were talking. I told him, I said, you know, I'm gonna achieve all my goals that you may have never thought something could happen to our kind of family. You know, and I told him, I said, you know, our last name will be better than what Hugh Jackman has made it, because it's just it's what it is, and I have faith that I can do that, right? I believe I can. And my dad kind of looked at me and he was just like, I'm glad that you can, you know, believe something to a drastic to where you are putting your all into it and you can do it. That was the first time my dad ever really like told me in a way of saying like you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. I'm 24 years old. It's been 24 years since that man has ever told me something like that. The one thing I respect my dad for is my dad wasn't shown much. Okay, my dad was shown how to be a worker and shown how to survive. So that's what my dad did in life. He survived. He did what he needed to do, and he still does what he needs to do today to survive. And that is one thing I do not want my son to believe is okay to do. I don't want to grow to survive. I don't want to live to survive. I want to grow to live in reality of it. And like I told my dad, I said, you know, I can always be thankful for you. I said, no matter what, I said, I will always be thankful for what you've showed me and what you've taught me. I said, because you taught me everything you knew. And what you knew was to work as hard as you can and be the hardest worker out there. So that's what I did. In my whole jobs and every jobs I've ever had, I put my 100% all. I gave it everything I got, because that is how my dad has taught me. You work harder than anybody there, and you make sure you're as versatile as possible, because then they can never get rid of you. So today, take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Go out, try something new, try some new food, do something that you never thought you would ever see yourself doing. Because that risk that you'll gain from that, the confidence, the feeling that you get, will be so much greater than anybody could have ever imagined. And it's nuts, because I've been seeing things unfold around me. The more and more I keep positivity around me, it's the law of attraction. The more you have, the better it'll come to you. You know, the more you put out, the better it'll come. And I think a lot of people get distracted by that. But my video is coming up on 18 minutes. I told you guys it'd be like 15, 20-minute podcast, so I don't want to go too much, because I could probably go in and about this for some of the stuff I've been learning. So today, take a risk. Take a leap of faith. Don't be afraid. Don't think about things too much. The thought process is way better than the how of actually thinking of how to do it. Just do it. Like Nike, just do it. No, I'm not getting sponsored by them. Hopefully one day though. Once again, this is Joey Joint here from Joint Perspectives. Hopefully I could give you guys a little bit different of a perspective, a little bit different of thinking. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Once again, thank you for all the love and the followers that you guys have given me. Much love to the fullest extent. I can't be appreciative enough for just the few views that I do get. You know, everybody has to start somewhere, and I'm not giving up ever. I'm going to keep going in this thing. And hopefully, you know, it'll keep going up the way I want it to. I know it will. So, once again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This is Joey Joint here with Joint Perspectives. You guys have a great rest of your day.